What's up, guys? Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. My name is Justin. Today we are going to make the ZR2 a little bit darker and a little bit more Midnight Edition like. This is going to be video number 2, adding some darkness to the Midnight Edition Colorado. All right, guys, so like I said, this is video number 2 of the blackout series for the Colorado, because this is a Midnight Edition Colorado, but it came with a surprisingly large amount of chrome. Now, if you guys haven't seen the first video de-chromifying the Midnight Edition, I'll link it up here somewhere. But ultimately what we did was we put black center caps on the wheels, black lug nuts, or in this case, black silicone covers over the chrome lug nuts on all 4 wheels. And then we also tinted the windows 20% from our friends up at Blackout Tinting. We added the blacked out visors. And then, of course, on the interior of the truck, we added the black vinyl bow tie on the steering wheel. So we have a lot more black going on than what the car comes with, and unfortunately there's even more to do. Now, if you guys haven't seen the previous video where I took the truck up to Blackout Tinting to have the entire thing expelled, you'll want to check that out first. But while they were doing that, I also had them strip off all of the chrome Colorado lettering on the doors, as well as on the tailgate here with the chrome ZR2 that would be in this area here. So basically we're going to add on the new lettering, which is all blacked out. It's from Chevy, so you can guarantee it's going to fit perfectly and it's going to look right at home. But why Chevy didn't do this on the Midnight Edition Colorado to begin with, that's anybody's guess, but we're going to fix their mistakes today. Now, we also have something else planned for this area right here. As you can see, my ZR2 logo is gone, and I kind of like something being there because it looks a little too bare without it, in my opinion. But we have something really cool to go there too, to kind of help fill this gap in, and it's going to also add to the Midnight Edition Colorado build. So anyway, let's get into it now. We're going to start with the badging, and the first one's going to be the driver's side door. So let's jump into it now. All right, guys, so luckily in my situation, my friend is here with his Midnight Edition ZR2 as well, with the stock lettering still on there. And yeah, we're gonna bust out the tape measure. So 2 guys with a tape measure, what could possibly go wrong, right? I got to see where these things are located on the door to kind of put mine on my truck somewhere near stock. So from the door edge over to the writing of Colorado, it's about 3.5 inches. And up from the bottom of the door, a little less than 9.5. Then in the rear, it is almost exactly 9.5. So this actually travels up just a hair, which is kind of weird. And this is what we came up with because, like I said, I'm a little bit anal about this being perfectly straight and perfectly located where GM wanted it. This is how we did it. So this painter's tape line right here is 3.5 inches from the door. This one is 9.25 from the bottom. This one over here is just shy of 9.5 from the bottom, and that is factory markings. So now all we have to do is just put the Colorado letters and follow the tape. All right, so here we go, guys. We're pulling off the backing here, and since I already have it marked out, I'm also going to pull the clear front tape out of the styrofoam lineup, so I can kind of follow that painter's tape line as good as I possibly can, and hopefully get this thing perfect. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. So we got to go right up against the tape line back here, right against the tape line on the bottom, and then follow it all the way through, which is pretty much right there. That looks pretty good. What do you think?
That looks pretty good.
So I'm going to apply some pressure. Oh man, this is way more nerve-wracking than it should be, but I'm going to apply some pressure and pull the clear off, so there's no going back now. All right, let's see what happens here. We ready? I like it. All right, guys, so next we're gonna go ahead and remove the painter's tape so we can see exactly how that Colorado lettering is placed. All right, it looks pretty good, guys. What do you think? So not super visible, which is exactly what I wanted, but nonetheless, it is there. And yeah, it looks placed pretty much exactly like the stock was. So it does come across a little anal, I know. The painter's tape thing, how long we actually spent lining this up off camera, it's kind of pathetic, I'll be honest. But this is what car guy stuff is all about. Or in this case, truck guy stuff. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do the passenger side. I'm not going to show you that because it's going to be more of the same here, but I will show you the tailgate when we go to that part. Let's jump forward to that. All right, so on the donor truck, we're going to measure from the side of the tailgate over to under the lettering here, which is about 2 inches. And then we'll measure up from the bottom on both sides, which should be the same on the tailgate, hopefully. It's gonna be about 6.5 inches. And then yeah, it's the same. So this one is perfectly level, whereas on the doors, it's not. So after measuring it out on the tailgate, we did the same thing with the painter's tape, and you can kind of follow the crease in the tailgate here to see this is a pretty straight line. And then we'll go ahead and stick the Colorado lettering right on top of there, and we should be perfectly straight. Next would be the ZR2 badge over on the passenger side. So we got everything measured and taped out. We got everything wiped down with rubbing alcohol. Now the next step is obviously to kind of pull the Colorado lettering out of the styrofoam in this case, and then we're going to line it up and stick it down just like we did on the driver's side. But this is the last time we get the satisfaction of pulling this paper off the back of the double-sided tape. So we'll pull this all out, and this will allow us to kind of line everything up on the back of the tailgate and follow our tape marks. As you can see, the Colorado lettering is kind of stuck to this clear tape here. We're going to come down here and just line it up with our tape. So we'll go ahead and stick it down and then remove the clear protective layer there. So to stick it, you're just going to kind of press it into place. Ideally, you want to be doing this on kind of a warm day because the sun will kind of help bake it in. But you know how Pennsylvania is. Today is like 50 degrees, and that's about the warmest it's going to get for the next couple days. There we go. Back on the donor truck, we have our chrome ZR2 badge here. We're going to measure this distance here and up from the bottom. And up from the bottom, and then we're gonna go over to my truck and get the black ZR2 badge put on. Back on my truck, we have a measurement of 2 inches over from the tailgate and 6.5 inches up for the ZR2 badge. So we're gonna go ahead and tape it out and then get this last one applied. So this is how this one comes. It doesn't come with any kind of styrofoam or anything. We have it taped off, everything's lined up, wiped it down with rubbing alcohol. Next step, obviously, we're gonna apply this. This is gonna be a little bit more difficult, I think, because it's kind of more solid than the Colorado lettering. It doesn't have as much flex to it. Let's see what happens here. The 2-inch marking is to the top of the 2. Just gotta follow that tape line. How's that look?
Looks good from here.
All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply some pressure, stick it down. Like I said, once we actually get a nice day here in PA, it'll bake it on with the sun. We are good to go. So next, we're gonna do something about the bedside stickers. I have a clever purchase for this area here, and it's not just going to say ZR2. It's going to be a little more flair to it, but it's going to much more so match the fact that we have a Midnight Edition truck. Yeah, guys, take a look at this though. This turned out really, really nicely. I love this. This especially is freaking awesome looking. But let's go ahead and remove the tape, and then we're going to jump into the bedside stickers. You're really going to want to stay tuned for this stuff, guys. So this is going to be what we're putting on the bedside. So it's a little bit bigger than the stock one, and it has a little bit of like an American flag thing going on. But what I really liked about it is that it's all blacked out. So other than the 2, everything else is a matte black. So on top of the gloss black, it'll look pretty neat. Obviously give us the little flavor of America. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing applied with some rubbing alcohol first, kind of tape up some stuff, hopefully get this as straight as possible, because we have to do this obviously on both sides of the bed. First step here, we're going to just kind of clean everything up with rubbing alcohol, even though this truck was literally just cleaned for XPEL installation. We want this to be as clean as possible so we don't run into any kind of problems. Because it's kind of pollen season here in PA, you want to make sure all that stuff's gone. It should be pretty good there. Here's what we got so far, guys. We got both sides mocked up, taped down the center because we're going to do a dry installation. We're going to pull half the paper off, squeegee out this side, pull this half off, and squeegee out that side. Now, that tip actually came to me from the guys up at Blackout Tinting. They were able to successfully install a lot of vinyl that way with no air bubbles, so hopefully I can kind of mock some of their installation methods for this part. This particular kit comes to us from Amazon, and it actually comes with a hard card you're going to need for this. So this will help kind of squeegee out the bubbles as we work with this. But it comes with both bedside stickers and some little gray ZR2 stickers. I don't know where I'd ever put those, but it does come with those as well as the install tools here. I'll link it all in the description below if you guys are interested in these. They're pretty cool. They seem like pretty high quality stuff. So let's see what ends up happening here. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna pull it off like that. And now, since it's kind of in place with the tape, we're gonna take the hard card and literally push as it's sticking to the truck to hopefully make sure no air bubbles ends up in there. Now that this is stuck to the truck, we can kind of remove the tape and just go with the flow here, because the clear plastic is going to maintain its position without the tape now that this is stuck down. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here. Just remove the backing. I just want to make sure that everything's sticking to the transfer paper. This vinyl is actually cut really well, guys. I'm impressed. So what we're going to do is kind of the same thing. We're going to hold it out in place and start squeegeeing it as it's laying down. I'm kind of scared to remove the transfer paper because either it's good or it's not. I'm not a professional at installing graphics by any means, but if this isn't good, I'm going to have to buy another set. They're not that bad. I think they were $40-ish, and it comes with a lot of the stuff you actually need. So let's take a look at how we did. That mat actually looks a lot better on there than I thought it was going to look. That actually looks really freaking good. Yeah, I'm impressed with that. I was worried about the matte black not really looking super like parent on the gloss black, but that's not bad at all. Installation was pretty much perfect other than a tiny air bubble there on the number 2, but I might be able to get that out with some heat. I think for the first time vinyl installation, I think that's pretty good. I really like that. That really looks muscular, for lack of a better term. But yeah, guys, this is just one more step towards our blacked out Midnight Edition Colorado. So let's go ahead, do the passenger side, and then we'll kind of wrap this video up. All right, guys, so our second video of blacking out the Midnight Edition Colorado is almost done. So what we did today was add the black Colorado badging, the ZR2 bed sticker in black, some more black Colorado badging, and of course the black ZR2 logo here. So we got pretty much everything at this point blacked out, minus a couple things that will be in a future video. But there's one final thing we're going to do today, and we're going to put a kind of tinted license plate cover on the truck. Not a huge thing, but it is just one final addition to the Midnight Edition to really help black this thing out. So just like with my Corvette ZR1, we have a tinted license plate cover here, which of course I will link in the description below. This was from Amazon. It was very cheap. I want to say it was somewhere around $10, and it's just going to give us a little more black Midnight Edition appearance, and of course it looks pretty cool. We're going to put this on, and then that is going to do it. That's going to wrap this video up. The way that this thing actually works has some tabs in the back, so it holds your license plate in place, which is kind of cool. So just like that, it's now held into place at the bottom. And then we'll put the screws in at the top with some nice finishing caps, and our license plate even has a little bit of a Midnight Edition approach to it. And just like that, guys, we now have a slightly more tinted out license plate cover with a nice black frame around it. Everything is just starting to scream Midnight a little bit more than it did while it was stock. Nothing we did here today was horribly difficult, but at the same time, it is definitely beneficial to the look of the truck. If you guys are interested, all of this stuff will be linked in the description below. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. There is still a little bit more we have to do, but that will be in a future video. For now, the truck is looking really good. It is definitely meeting my expectations for Midnight Edition. If you liked what you saw, please give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions about anything we did here or anything that you think needs to still be done, leave them in the comment section down below or shoot me an email. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of Colorado ZR2 content like this coming. You are not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.